Today we are going to talk about multiplying and dividing fractions. So in your notes, you see something like this. Okay, when we are multiplying fractions, if there are any mixed numbers, you need them to be written as improper fractions. Okay, so that's the first thing that you need to look for. Now, step 2 is something that you can do if you want, but you would not have to. But for sure, we need to go multiply the numerators together, multiply the denominators together, and then for sure you need to simplify. So when we look at number 1, I want to multiply our numerators together, 4 times 1. Then multiply our denominators together, 2 times 5. Okay, and we need to ask ourselves, is this simplified? Okay, 4 and 10 can both be divided by 2. So when we divide by 2, we get 4 divided by 2 is 2, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. 2 over 5, is that a simplified fraction? The answer is yes. Okay. It is fine to do the problem like that every time. Some of you might remember talking about cross-canceling, okay? So if you want to cross-cancel, you can, but you do not have to. So those of you who want to do this, you can say, oh, hey, look, 4 and 2 are on opposite sides of the fraction bar, and they both can be divided by 2. So if I divide by 2, this becomes 1, and if I divide by 2, this becomes 2. So now when we multiply across, we get 2, and when we multiply across here, we get 5. So it's the same answer, it's the same method, it's just doing some simplifying across the fraction bar before you multiply, but it is okay if you don't, okay? And I'm gonna go ahead and not do the cross-canceling for the rest of this. I'm just gonna go straight across and then we'll simplify at the end, okay? So let's look at number 2. Number 2, we are multiplying. When I multiply our numerators, we get 1 times 3 is 3. When we multiply our denominators, 9 times 5 is 45. Now, is this a simplified fraction? I think both 3 and 45 are divisible by 3. So if I divide both of them by 3, 3 divided by 3 is 1. And 45 divided by 3, ooh man, I don't have a calculator, but I know 3 goes into 4 one time. Left over is 1, bring down the 5. 3 goes into 15 5 times. So we have 1 over 15. Okay, so let's try this one. Okay, notice how we're multiplying two fractions. One is positive and one is negative. What is that going to mean about our product? That means our product is going to be negative. Okay, so if I multiply our numerators, 1 times 1 is 1. If we multiply our denominators, 7 times 5 is 35. So our answer is negative 1 over 35. Okay, now here is where we need to be careful. Notice how we have two mixed numbers. We need to change these to improper fractions before we can move forward. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this one and I'm going to say 2 times 5 plus 1. Well, that's 11, and we keep our denominator, times 3 times 1 plus 2. That's 5, and then we keep our denominator. Okay? So if you want to cross cancel, you go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and multiply my numerators to get 55. Multiply my denominators to get 15. And I know both of these are divisible by 5. So when I reduce, we get 11 over 3. But hey, we cannot leave it like this because it's an improper fraction. So we need to change to mixed number. So when I take 11 divided by 3, 3 goes into 11 3 times, with 2 as the remainder. So our answer is 3 2/3. Okay. So now what we're going to do, we're going to go to the next page. Well, first, I guess we're going to the bottom. Okay. When we divide, dividing means, and I want you to write this, multiply by the reciprocal. Okay. Do you remember that word, dividing by the reciprocal? Okay. Reciprocal means we're going to take our fraction and flip it upside down. Okay. So the only difference in these two problems is we have one extra step. Division means multiply by the reciprocal. So I'm going to have you go to the next page, and I'm going to have you write divide means multiply by reciprocal. Okay, and I'm going to write an upside down version to help remind you that we are flipping that second fraction upside down. So you're going to keep the first one as is, but we need to flip the second one. Okay, so like look at this number 7 right here. Okay, we have 1/6 times the reciprocal of 1 over 5 is upside down, 5 over 1. So we're changing to multiplication and we flip that upside down. Okay, so now when we multiply, 1 times 5 is 5, and 6 times 1 is 6. Okay, that one was pretty nice. Let's try this one. Okay, we are dividing, and dividing means multiply by the reciprocal. So this becomes 3/4. Division becomes multiplication by the reciprocal. Okay, so we know when we're multiplying our numerators, first I guess we should probably talk about, hey, this is a negative. We have a positive times a negative number, so we know our answer is going to be negative. When we multiply across, 3 times 2 is 6. Whoops. When we multiply across here, 4 times 1 is 4. Okay, well that is not simplified, so let's go ahead. I know both of these are divisible by 2. So I have negative 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 4 divided by 2 is 2. Okay. The next question I need to ask you is, can we leave our answer like that? This is an improper fraction because 3 is bigger than 2. Okay. Well, we know when we take 3 divided by 2, it goes in 1 time with 1 left over. So our answer is negative 1 1/2. So I'm going to skip down to we'll do number 9 and then number 10. Okay. So we are dividing. So we're going to write the first fraction and then multiply by the reciprocal. So we're going to flip that second fraction. What I want you to notice is that we have a negative times a negative. So our answer is going to be positive. Okay. 4 times 9 for our numerator is going to be, it's going to be 36. And then 7 times 8 for our denominator is going to be 56. Okay. What number can go into both of these? Okay. I think 4 can go into both of these. So let's try dividing by 4. Okay. 36 divided by 4 is 9. And 56 divided by 4, 4 goes into 5 one time. And then if we bring down the 1 and the 6, 4 goes into 16 4 times. So we have 9 over 14. Okay. All right, let's talk about this problem. If we have mixed numbers, we have to change them into improper fractions first. So 2 times 10 plus 1 is giving us 21 tenths divided by negative 2 times 5 plus 4 is giving us 14 fifths. Okay. Now we need to change this to multiply by the reciprocal. So we are going to multiply by the upside down fraction. Okay. If you want to cross cancel, you go ahead. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply across. Okay. So 21 times 5 gives us negative 105. And then 10 times 14 is going to give us 140. All right, I think both of these numbers are divisible by 5, for sure. So I'm going to go ahead and divide by 5. And when we do that, we get a negative 21 over 28. Ooh, man, I think we can keep going. I think these are both divisible by 7, don't you think? So now we get a negative 3 over 4. Okay, so your homework is going to be page 23, but I only want you to do numbers 1, 3, 6, 8, 10, and 12. Good luck.